Seems we're ready for it again, and this time it's not only going to be the short squeeze. We might be in the presence of a gamma squeeze. So I'm going to share with you in this video what's happening with Bed Bath & Beyond, ticker symbol BBBY, and a way that you can play it and what's happening and how you can see that it's coming and where you can find some data. I cannot give you exactly my proprietary algorithms, but I can share with you a very simple methodology for you to pick some of that action. Last week in our group, our community, Market Surveillance Alliance live, I think actually it was not last week, actually I think it was 2 weeks ago, right? So 2 weeks ago, we played, and in less than 24 hours, we double our money. And yeah, some other guys will talk to you about 10x, but how many people actually get that 10x? In our groups, in our communities, what we do is like we exactly share with you when you go in, when you go out. And what we want to make sure happen is that we just separate fiction from reality. And that's what I do when I have the data coming from my algorithms. So let's take a look. Let me show you exactly what's happening on the charts. And let's, today, Monday, I want to share with you exactly how you can play this. So this is a 4-hour chart. There's a little bit of a gap here, and there's a bunch of liquidity, and there's a gap here as well that go all the way to $22. Now, a lot of people are betting on the 80 call for January 2023. Now, if it happens, great. But you want to be smart in how you position your money. Remember, it's actually money that you work for it. So if it's going to happen, if there's a lot of people buying calls, that's where we go. That's how they push for the gamma squeeze. And there's a lot of news. There's some kind of financing coming. The company's in pretty bad shape. It can be from leadership. It can be for whatever. But the situation is that department stores in the U.S. are facing many challenges. It's not only Amazon. It's just a massive shift in consumer behavior. So that's just, it is what it is. But in the meantime, the stock, the structure of the stock, the shares float out there allows this to happen. So the other thing that you have to look into as well is when we talk about all information. For example, I use Fintel. You can use Fintel. And right now, what happened is that the stock has a 39.80% short float. So that means that there's some players that they are pushing lower. And as the stock moves lower, they make money. This is a valid strategy for hedge funds and for any other individual that actually can get, in their hands stocks. Now, of course, remember that you have to borrow those shares and there's some interest to pay. So I tend to avoid that. If I want to short a stock, I think there's some weakness, then we go for puts, and only when I do have some strong evidence where exactly these big boys in Wall Street are rolling their bets. Now, 39.80%. So this is the concept of short flow that leads into the short squeeze. That means that, pretty much 39% of the flow, it's short, and we can cause some pain if the stock goes up. Now, the challenge is on this time, I don't think it's only going to be a short squeeze. I think what's coming, and I was working a little bit on that particular sticker for our community. What I think is going to happen is this. Take a look. You go to quote media and then you go to most active options, and I review this. This is crazy, like 45, it happens, again, great, but it's not the best positioning that you can have. Look at this, 80 call, January 2023, 18,000 contracts today, and the premium goes around $1.55. So not this exact number, but you can have an idea that multiply 155 times 18,000, let's call it 19,000. And you have an idea what's coming. Okay, 19,000 contracts times 155. So that's close to, I will say, $3 million. Now, what Ryan Cohen did before is that he buys the position. This time, it's a little bit of back and forth because he was not an insider. He was not in the ownership of 10% of the company. But that's a different story. What happens now, and you have to understand, is retail can get the job done. Yes, retail can get the job done. And also there are a lot of people, they don't want this company to go broke because then, shareholder value is evaporated. So now retail can get the job done, and then they buy the out of the money calls. So that creates that pressure, and the market maker has to step in with their own money and buy the shares to offset any potential. So they're trying to, I think it's the concept of delta, right? But we have to see in this case, and that how you can take advantage of positioning yourself is, first, don't do the dumb thing. Don't be dumb. Don't just go for the 80 or the 45. Don't go for something that is very short term, or don't go for the super out of the money. No, try to go to something in the middle, because now you know, thanks to this video and thanks of all the ideas coming from Market Surveillance Alliance, how you can position yourself to actually make money in this particular idea. Do I think it's going to happen? I absolutely think that this time retail is going to show everyone the power they have. And once again, it's not COVID, it's not post-COVID. This is just the new age where retail buying does matter. So you matter, and this money, this is $3 million. It's a lot of money. This not necessarily has to be, it doesn't have to be a hedge fund. It doesn't have to be Ryan Cohen still playing the game. This can be a bunch of guys, not only Reddit, but a lot of groups that get together. There's a bunch of guys in the US or in South Korea or in Germany with $1 million, $5 million in their trading accounts. They can do this together. So in the middle is where we are going to play. So I'm going back to quote media and right to do all this craziness, avoid the 80, avoid the 40 fall. Can it happen? Yes. Do I think there's a high probability? Of course not. So let's go to the option chain. And September tends to be, and you can watch all the guys at CNBC, Kramer, and the rest of the gang, and a bunch of people on Twitter, social media talking about how bad September is for stocks. Listen, 2022 is the year that everything is it's pushed to be tested, yes, to see if it works or not. So I will say let's keep for now. I don't think we have to be in this bad omen of September, but let's give time. You also want to have time when you buy your options. So let's go to the monthly in October, and then I probably look to something that will be $2. I will open all the tracks, take a look, and you see the 45 makes more sense here. It's 4,000, almost 5,000 contracts in the open interest, and just today you have going in 1,454 contract. That makes more sense with time, rather than you just putting yourself in front of the train and buy these Friday expiration. That's just crazy. Another one that makes sense, probably, I think, look, the 147 to the $2, the 35, it's all the same to me. So probably we'll just do the buy the 35 for the sake of the argument. It's $2. I can live with that. And let's take a look at what happens on that. And this will be my trade setup for you all based on short squeeze and gamma squeeze. Not only one squeeze, double whammy, double squeeze happening. And we can understand, you'll understand more of the concept today. Here, you see, it's very simple, not too shabby. Well, spread 30 cents. It is what it is for the scenario that we're playing. Implied volatility is very high. You have to consider that. But I still think that based on the potential scenario, and if you think, for example, Revlon, ticker REV, went through the same, and it went from $1 to $10. Not a little bit of the different share structure with Bed Bath & Beyond, but still, you do have that opportunity there, and it can play out. The other reason, just to give you an idea, these gaps make me think that there's a huge opportunity to actually break $14.78 and go all the back to at least fill this gap. And after that, what I think may happen as well, if I look at the daily, and we were to come back all the way, if we actually break 30, then absolutely count with it. We are definitely going to $44, all the way back to the liquidity on June 2021. That actually was another short squeeze. In this case, it was 85% return from sideways market after another squeeze that we had before that. So these are the levels that you have to consider. Once we clean these levels, the multiple gaps, we have two gaps here. If we clean those, we fill the gap, and we have enough strength based on short and gamma squeeze. If we close above $29, $30 mark, bye-bye. We are going to squeeze like you haven't seen for a while, but it will happen. So definitely you want to take this $2. Just take one. Just start with one. But if you want to go big, if you're one of those guys, one of those girls looking to build a 6-figure investment account, then I strongly advise you check your trading account, check your investment account, check it up. If you can, then go with 20 contracts. Big time, big payout, but you will be taking home the rewards. Now, you will be banking yourself a pretty nice month, or depends, it can be weekly if something goes out of control. And the last, the most important thing, guys, remember, if you want to learn everything I do, if you want to learn how we kind of pick these ideas, how I learn to maximize this information, know where everyone is, and how I put all together to give our community it's not just the best trade, but the best trade it's not really necessary. The trades with the highest probability for you to win based on understanding how Wall Street is playing the game and how now retail traders are playing the game, then absolutely you want to go to the description of this video and click on the link to watch the training, my webinar, so you understand more what is the Market Surveillance Alliance, what do I do, why I do it, because it's most important is not just to do it because you think you're going to make money. You also, when things don't work well, you want to continue, you want to be strong. But the most important, I believe, that America deserves better days. So again, guys, just watch it. Just start 5 minutes. If you don't click with me, that's fine. But if you like 5 minutes, turn 10, 10 and 15, 15 and 20. And then at the end, you will decide if you join us or not. But you will understand what is happening in today's market, what is happening in America, and how everyone outside America see the US. Okay? Perfect. Until then, never forget, someone always knows. Ciao, ciao.